you're not taking care of you, it's really difficult to take care of anyone else.
Right.
Yes.
And so, yeah, I think that's part of the lesson, is to forgive ourselves, be kind to ourselves, and to listen to your body and your mind, and seek help when you need it.
Welcome to the Shan and Tam Show. Welcome back, Shan and Tam fam. If you have not yet seen the last video, then you should hit that little notification at the top of your screen just now, because you will have missed a very important discussion that we started last week with Marcia Smith. Marcia is a social worker, social justice advocate, and strategist. And we have been talking about a very important issue affecting women's health, which is around gynecological cancers. So we want to welcome you again, Marcia.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for sticking with us and being available to share more information. So we're going to pick up the discussion.
Absolutely, absolutely. So Marcia, again, Tam and I are so grateful for you to be here with us, just to really open your hearts and just to really speak to us about different forms of cancers. One of the topics, or one commonly hot area that we want to talk about, is fibroids, right? So can you talk a little bit about that and that connection to uterine cancer, please?
So, and thank you again for having me.
Yes.
So in terms of fibroids, a lot of people have this misconception that having fibroids means they're going to turn into cancer. And there's no research that corroborates that or substantiates that. Having fibroids, however, can be sometimes a detriment to women seeking medical advice for other issues that may exist that could be cancer, but wasn't directly related to the fibroid. So when you have fibroids, as I shared earlier, that I myself have struggled with fibroids. And so what happens is some of the same discomfort and pain and heavy bleeding is present because you have fibroids, but could also be related to the fact that you may have, you know, endometrial cancer, right? Or ovarian cancer. So the most important thing is to just keep, if something feels different, if it's heavier, if you're feeling, you know, an increased amount of pressure in your pelvic or your abdominal area, go back to the doctor, have them check it out, have them do a transvaginal ultrasound, and that could start the ball rolling. So most fibroids are benign, they're not cancerous, but you constantly have to keep checking when you do have fibroids, because some can turn into cancerous cells, and then, you know, that's a whole different area.
A bigger issue.
Okay, that's good. That's good information to know. That's good information to know. It's interesting because Tam and I recently, within our church community, we just had a discussion about women's health and women's issue as well. And one of the hot topics also that came about was menopause. And women experiencing menopause and some of the impacts that this have on them. Can you speak a little bit about the diagnosis with uterine cancer? Like, how is that connected with menopause, or how women may experience that differently?
So the really and truly, the most I could say with the menopause and uterine cancer is, if you're menopausal and you start to bleed, that's not normal. That is not spotting, that is not your period coming back, that's not some residue, that is a reason for concern. Does it mean you have cancer? Maybe not, but you're at high risk because you're menopausal.
So Marcia, let's shift gears a little bit. So we talked a little earlier about your mom and, you know, getting that diagnosis. Can you tell us just a little bit more about how you and your family dealt with that?
So that was the beginning of a whole new chapter in our lives. So it was myself, my husband, my son, and my daughter, and my mom who lived in the same dwelling. So my mom has lived with me for about 15 years before her diagnosis. And so mom got diagnosed February of 2014, and she died that December. So she really,
so
it was like
year.
10 months. Yeah. So she got sick the December of 2013 and passed December 2014. And I'll tell you that 10 months, those 10 months felt like 10 years.
Wow.
So much happened. The dynamics of my relationship with my spouse changed, my children, because I was thrown into now becoming the caregiver for my mom. So mom was hospitalized, we were going through treatment, and because she was diabetic, because she had other health issues, her prognosis was very poor.
Okay.
So we tried chemo, and chemo just, damaged her. And I remember the first time she came back from the hospital, she was retaining water, so they had to drain her. I mean, I was working full-time, 2 jobs actually, full-time, part-time, caring for my mom, caring for the family. So it was very difficult emotionally, psychologically, physically. And so mom came back from the hospital, and she needed care, and it was just me and her in the house. So we had already arranged for home care to come in, but that wasn't going to start till the next day. And I remember being in the living room and, mom calling me, but her voice was so faint. And I thought, oh, okay. So I went in the room and I'm like, what's up, mom? You need something? You need something?
Yes.
And then I could just see the look on her face of just this sheer terror of telling me what was wrong. And then I realized, wait a minute. She cannot get up to go to the washroom.
Oh. So
she had soiled herself.
Right.
And it was and in that moment I thought, wait a minute, I have to change my mother. My mother who's so proud, my mother who's a proud Jamaican woman who never let her kids even see her coming out of the washroom naked. Even though we're a woman, right? And I think that was a defining moment for me, that I thought, okay, this is real. This is real for both of us. And so that was the most difficult part of all of this, was that moment that I had to become that caregiver to change my mother. And I did it. I did it, and I made it as comfortable for her. And I think I even tried to crack some jokes. I was so nervous. And so that was hard. It changed the dynamics of my relationship with my spouse, because my mom's room was on the main floor. Our bedrooms are on the second floor.
Yes.
I slept on the couch for 3 months because I had to be near her.
Right.
She couldn't get up and go to the washroom. I had this fear that I would come downstairs one morning and would find her passed.
Okay.
And so for me, I needed, I of course, I'm so grateful that my husband was so supportive, because that's hard. 3 months, every night, I slept on the couch. He slept by himself. And so the children, my relationship with the children changed, because then it's like, I'm constantly heightened, and guys, you have to help me more. If your grandmother's sick, and they're young, so they don't really understand
why they should, the responsibility.
That they need to help me more in order for me to, so it really, and I after mom passed, I acknowledged, I said, a lot of things happened. I was, our relationship was just different, because I think that we lost a lot. I was yelling a lot. Because I was anxious, I was nervous, I was scared.
You're
my mom's
stressed.
dying. I'm stressed.
And I can imagine probably too, I don't know how you feel talking about that, what it felt like for your mom too. I don't know.
Absolutely.
What did she ever?
And my mom, she kept saying,
yeah.
"Oh God, I feel so bad. Look where I come down to." And I'm like, "Mom, don't say that." My mother never wanted to burden any of us.
Right.
Even living with me, she was like, "No, no, right? You're married and Medea." I'm like, "Mom, no. What do you mean you can have your own place? No." And my mom, trust me, my mom was the easiest person to live with. She never, and it was not funny, but when my mom passed, my husband and I acknowledged, I said, you know why our relationship probably lasted as long as it did? Because my mom. we made sure we would spend hours in our car arguing if we had to argue about something, because it would kill my mother if she but we made an effort to resolve our differences, right? And because of respect we had for my mom, and my mom helped out so much, and it was then after her passing I said, you know, honey, this is gonna really make or break us, because now it's like life without this woman who contributed so much to the health of our relationship.
She was the glue.
She was completely the glue. So yeah.
Right. And so, what was it like navigating the healthcare system?
It was hard. So that was the other part. So once she became hospitalized and they kept her in and she became palliative, we started to sleep at the hospital because I realized nobody was really caring for her. Like one of the nurses came in, got to a point where my mom couldn't swallow anymore. The cancer had progressed. She couldn't swallow, so she needed applesauce to take her medication. And the nurse basically said, nope, I'm not giving you no applesauce. You need to take this.
Based on what we've discussed today and all the challenges that you talked about with your mom, what advice would you give to any woman who's out there facing a health issue right now?
So the advice I would give would be to just take care of yourself, wellness, both your body and your mind. I do think that there's been a lot of generational trauma, intergenerational trauma, and I think our culture, our Black community of women, we don't always self-care enough, and we weren't really taught to do that. So I think it's time for us to really think about our mental health. It's the same way we think about our physical health, and really find outlets where you can talk to people, where you can care for yourself and your wellness. I think that's what I would say for any ailments, right? Any disease, any sickness, just really take care of yourself.
That's good.
Yeah, good. I think it's a part of why we do what we do, right? To be able to offer that opportunity to tell the story,
for
and
other
for
women
people
and
to
men.
know that they're not the only ones experiencing whatever challenge it is you're going through.
Absolutely, I agree.
And you know what, Marcia, with everything that you've said here today over the past few days, what are some of the crucial lessons that you've taken from the experience with your mom?
I've learned that sometimes you need to pause and forgive yourself, because we're human and we're imperfect, and we're gonna mess up, and we're going to do things, but we hold it in, and we don't. Again, I say the word forgive yourselves, because that and to heal, right, and to understand that as you're going through something that's new and frightening, that we're vulnerable, and it's okay to be vulnerable. It's okay to not be strong. Society tells us as Black women, you need to be strong, you need to not, show adversity, and you need to, but the only thing you need to do is to be good to yourself first. Because if you're not taking care of you, it's really difficult to take care of anyone else. And so, I think that's part of the lesson, is to forgive ourselves, be kind to ourselves, and to listen to your body and your mind, and seek help when you need it.
Absolutely.
We agree. So Marcia, you came in here dressed like you're going to war today, right?
My camo gear.
Yes. So we want you to talk a little bit on how you have been able to honor your mother's memory throughout everything, and how has the grieving process been for you and your family?
So part of honoring Mom was, as Caribbean, as Jamaican people, we love food, music, fellowship, getting together, celebrating. We celebrate everything. And so that was my mom, and that's who I am as well. And I thought, after losing her, I suffered. Like, the first year was horrible. I cried, I was angry, I was confused, I was mad. I challenged God a lot. I'm like, why my mom? Why? Right? And so I went through my whole, journey of healing and grief, and realizing that there's no expiration date on grief. It's not the first 6 months, the first year, the first 10 years. It's moments. And I decided that I need to do something to not feel that pain still. I need to bring back the spirit and the energy my mom had in our household,
Yes.
which was joy and bliss. So I thought, you know, let's do something to honor her. Let's get friends and family together. Let's raise some money to give back to people who are less fortunate. Because that's who my mom was.
Right.
She would give the shirt off her back. And she actually did that in Jamaica when we were there visiting. A woman said, Veronica, I love that shirt. Did you say you really like it? And the woman said, yes. My mom went home after. She washed the shirt, hung it up, and the next day she gave it to the woman.
Right.
So I thought, okay, we need to give back because that's who she was. So we organized this, my sister, myself. I got some cousins involved, my brother, and we organized this backyard boogie where we had this event in our backyard, food, music, domino tournament. We did a Zumba.
Right.
It was successful. It was fun.
Right.
And we raised some money and we were able to donate it to a family in Jamaica. And then the next year I thought, let's continue this. Let's do something else. So we kept moving it up and bringing it. We started to get more people involved. So we started renting venues and having this gala event in September. We called it War Against Cancer. That's the camera wear.
Yes.
So that was the theme because this is a war.
Right.
Cancer is a war. You're at battle. I watched what my mom went through. I watched what we went through as caregivers.
Yes.
And it is a war. You know, you're out there on the battlefield and all these grenades are going off and you know, you got to put on your gear and you know, you got to be resilient. And so it's constantly a war. And I thought, you know what? Let's do this to raise awareness, raise funds, but at the same time to enjoy the life that we have still and enjoy it, have fun, embrace it, and just fellowship, get together and have fun while you're doing good too.
Right.
Yes.
Which is what your mom would want too,
Exactly
right?
what she would want.
What sort of impacts have you been able to make with those fundraising efforts?
So we've been able, like, the awareness part is huge. As much as we want to raise money, of course, one day I would love to raise so much money that we can help as many women as possible. But I think more the priceless information is what I think is key. Getting women to know the signs, know your symptoms, and to know your body, and to advocate for yourselves. And if you can't, to find people to advocate. So I think we've been able to help women in Jamaica, Barbados, and in Canada. We have a sister that went to the church with Tamara, and I think yourself, Margaret Frey Smith, and we wanted to honor her. We lost Margaret to cancer back in April of 2019, and so we've now partnered with Margaret's brother and her son. They're part of our committee now, and we continue to raise awareness and funds to help other women who are battling endometrial cancer.
Excellent. And so you recently formed a nonprofit, right?
Yes, Wecan, and it's we were doing things and we weren't really. I was so nervous to put this together because people kept telling me so much work, it's hard to get the nonprofit, but I did it, thank God, again, by asking questions and reaching out to people. And so it's a cancer foundation to help women of color with endometrial cancer awareness, and so people can look us up.
So I'll put all the information for Marcias Foundation, contact information in our description box for this video, and you will see links also at the top of the video going across your screen. How can people help, Marcia?
So people share your experiences in this new virtual world. We did have, you know, awareness where we raised awareness through, you know, on camera on Instagram. We are on Instagram, Facebook, so people can reach out, like you said, with the contact information, and they can donate their time, their funds to help other family, but also your experience. We want to hear from other women who are battling this or who have questions on how to, not just if you're diagnosed with cancer, but if you're a caregiver. We want to reach out to you too and share any tips that we can to support you and support other families that's battling this.
Equally important, the caregivers. It's important for us to remember their role in situations like this. What future plans do you have?
we have big plans. Post-COVID, we have big plans. Yes. We want to, actually, honestly, for which would have been our 5th year, for 2020, I wanted to have a big stage show with artists from Wecan.
Big plans.
Big plans. And just really celebrate life and celebrate the moment. Right. Because I realize with this healing and this loss and grieving, yes, that it's moments. It's almost like you're in the ocean, and you know, like you'd be in the ocean and the sea, and then you'd have a wave and you'd ride that one, right? And then it'd be calm and you're there just, and then another wave is coming and you prepare yourself and then you ride that one. Right. And I realize it's moments, so we have to embrace and treasure the moments that we have together when we are healthy, to enjoy each other's company and to always give back, no matter how little. Right. Always give back, and it doesn't have to be like money, monetary. Right. It could be your time, your knowledge, your experience. Give back. We have to pay it forward.
Absolutely.
I agree.
Absolutely.
I agree. So how can people contact you, Marcia?
So they can, if you're on Instagram, Facebook, and I think you can provide my phone number.
Yes,
so people can call me. We're collecting funds right through the year through e-transfer. Again, part of the big plans is to set up a system where we can have people donate online. Through that. We're working on that. So we're growing, we're constantly growing, and we welcome anyone with their expertise that can help us. We just want to really have our health, our mental and our physical health at the forefront of, especially post-COVID.
And anyone can be a part of this army.
Anyone
can be a part of
Anyone can be a soldier.
Anyone can be a soldier in this army.
Wow. So Shan and Tam fam, it has been such an amazing few days just talking with Marcia, hearing about her journey with her mother, and just to talk a little bit about us, about the stats with fibroids, uterine cancer, and just women's health, mental health, emotional health, and support. We really hope that you have taken something from today, and as Tam and I will, and just to move forward with this journey, just to educate, to empower, and to really connect with those in our circles so that we can all pull together as one community to support each other. Thank you, and we will see you again soon.
Bye. Thanks for watching the show today, Shan and Tam fam.
Ensure you hit the subscribe button, like, and share this video.
Send the link to a friend in WhatsApp, Facebook, or even Instagram fam. And of course, don't miss when we post a new video, so hit that notifications button.
Yes. Also, check out the details box for this video for all the links for Shan and Tam's social media